WWE-TV New York this week includes an interview with the producer behind legends like DMX, Mary J. Blige, and The Lox. We speak with Hip from XFMS.
Welcome to Worldwide Entertainment TV, and I am your New York host, Miss Goldi, and I have the ultimate pleasure of interviewing one of my mentors, longtime entrepreneur, trendsetter, Mr. Hip Armstead from XFMS. How you doing today?
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
You was chasing the bag people couldn't even chase at your age. You was, what, 18, 19?
No. Get it correct. I was like 12, 13. And I don't want to say, you know what I'm saying? It's like, now that I look back over my life, I started selling drugs because I like clothes.
Right.
I like to get dressed. And my mother, she couldn't keep up buying me. Like, my mother would probably take us for school shopping and get us 5 pair of pants, 2 pair of shoes, a pair of sneakers, and a pair of shoes.
And you wasn't
I
going
went
for
to
that.
school for those 5 days, and then when she woke me up the next Monday to go to school, I said, "Ma, I ain't got nothing to wear." She said, "Boy, you gotta be crazy." So at the age of 12, I got into the drug game, and I started selling drugs, and I regret, everything about it. But it wasn't to harm anybody's family. It was to really to get fresh, and
Right.
I like nice things and jewelry and stuff like that, and
In the era you came up in, that's what basically that was the reason why people sold drugs, just because, they wanted extra money, they wanted to look nice, they wanted to take care of their family, they wanted to take care of their kids, they really didn't want to harm people. And like I say, you are one of the few people that I could never say caused any harm. So growing up in Yonkers, and I know you grew up in Yonkers, but you was in Harlem. You was around. You had a scooter. You had a Jeep with top off. You was around. So who were some of your influences and why?
Well, coming out of Yonkers, I would have to say Trey Harris, Ronald Coop, Tommy G. Glover, which is not Tommy G, which is Jadakiss's uncle.
Sleep in peace, Tommy G.
Yeah, rest in peace. Jadakiss, I see a lot of Tommy G in him.
Right.
Tommy G was fly. And it's crazy because a lot of people don't like to give props to the people that,
The pioneers that came before them. The people that you was watching.
Yeah. Like a lot of the rap cats, they talk about Rich Porter and, the guys from Harlem. We was doing the same thing. But right in Yonkers, we had some of the nicest cars. We was getting,
Well, trust and believe, when names like Rich Porter and all of them come up, trust and believe your name could be up in that circle. And not because of the drug dealing, but because of the notoriety, because of the fame. Even though you was from Yonkers, you pulled up in Harlem, all on the regular, and they knew who you was, and you jumped out looking fly, smell like champagne, Paco Rabanne and champagne, and looking fly and doing your thing, and you never caused harm to your people. So, do you consider yourself to be a role model?
Yes, I do. And just to shed light on being back then, even though I was a drug dealer, I supplied people with work.
Yes, you
and
did.
I was in the beginning. I didn't. I was a businessman, so a lot of the cats I didn't even pay. I walked around with a pen and a pad. I gave them a pack. I said, "What you want? You want the Birds or you want the Magic Johnsons?" At the time, Bird and Magic was the only one that had basketball sneakers by Converse. And I would get them a sweatsuit from Harlem, from KP Con on 125th.
KP
I would
Con.
pay them in clothes, so all the money stayed over this way. I went on to Neiman Marcus and got them Jabots and them fly silk.
Oh, you was such a jabot, man.
But I'm blessed to still be. I lived every era, and that's one thing that I stand by is the character of my name.
Right.
That's one thing I never wanted people to say, like, "Oh, did you see Hip, man? He bad on drugs." Like, you know what I'm saying?
You never been on drugs.
Yeah, never. But to still or Hip ratting on East Side State.
You never did that.
I never did that, but I had to. I was probably first at 16 years old. I went down with the Kurt Goodwines, and I forgot Kurt Goodwine was one of the fly ones from Yonkers too. And when I did get arrested, selling drugs at 12, 13, 14, I got arrested at 16 years old, and it made the paper. And it was like 12 of the biggest drug dealers in Yonkers. It was a Halloween suite. You know what I'm saying? The sealed indictments came out, and they came and got me like at 7 or 6 in the morning. And here I am locked up with all of the older guys that I looked
The
up
real OGs.
Yeah, the real OGs, but I'm the youngest one.
Like
you
what
know
I'm
saying?
doing in this circle.
Yeah. So I mean, I wound up going to jail. I made bail, and being that I was only 16, I was at the time, you know, Yonkers High had transferred us over to Roosevelt, and the teachers loved me in Roosevelt. They all wrote letters, so I wound up getting 5 years probation. And a lot of the guys, Kurt, and a lot of the guys, they went up north and did their time. So it kind of like changed my whole perspective.
It was God's
To
blessing.
see my mom have to come after she told me a lot of the lessons that now I'm in jail, and all of the stuff that she was saying was true. So it's like at that particular time, I changed. When I got out, I changed my, you know what I'm saying, whole way of living.
And you definitely did. So beginning with your first professional business venture, what was it and how did you get started?
Well, my first thing that I did was, like I said, I was always into fashion. I started my line, Many Styles. And it came from being in jail and me just coming up with, you know, first of all, when I came home, I wanted to do this thing called hip dog jeans because they called me hip dog. Rugged enough to bite, get 'em.
Yeah.
You get it? Rugged enough to bite.
Right enough to buy get them.
Yeah.
That was the jeans though.
Yeah, but
Right.
I might redo that. But I started a company called Many Styles, and at this particular time, we didn't have social media.
Right.
So I would do like custom suits, custom button-ups, and I would go to events, and I would get my, you know, my likes. You know, now you get likes on Instagram and comments.
You would get
But
your
I was
likes in person.
You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it didn't go as, because it cost a lot of money.
Now that's some real shit he just said. Before social media, he had to go get his likes in person. And that's exactly what he did. Y'all better learn how to go get y'all likes in person.
Yeah, but
Now
I've been famous before.
He been
But-
famous.
But it cost a lot of money. It was costing me a lot of money to get to the fabric, because I used to go and pick out the fabric and to have somebody to sew, and it cost a lot of money. So, you know, I wound up, you know, kind of like leaving it alone. But I started a management company in '96. I started managing a guy by the name of Richie Thumbs,
Right.
which was signed to a friend of mine, Darian Dash. He had with Ski Beats, they produced for Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt. So, you know, you had Rockefeller and they had Rock a Block. So their first artist was Richie Thumbs, and he was somebody that looked up to me in the community, and
Right.
he came to me and said, look, man, I want you to be my manager. And that's how I got into the music business, like,
Right.
through Richie Thumbs. And I shout out to Richie Thumbs for giving me a Kodak moment.
Shout out to Rich T. So in the music industry, what exactly have you been doing since that moment? Because I mean, I've seen you with the major players. Like one day I seen you in the Skybox with Jay-Z and Beyonce with the Yankee fit, and they were like, what? He in the Skybox with Jay-Z and Beyonce with the Yankee video. So tell me some of the people you have worked with, some of the people you have met with, and the dealings you have had with the music industry since you entered.
Well, being from Yonkers, I was inspired by Mary J. Blige was the first childhood friend that used to like come to my house, and she would sing, and you know, a lot of us, you know, a lot of people in the house would be like, "Girl, sit down." Like, but Mary always said, and that's why you got to speak things into existence. Mary J. Blige always said that she was going to be a star.
Yeah.
And she did it. You know what I'm saying?
She did
So
it.
I wound up going and doing some time, a blue trial for attempted murder, which was broken down to assault in the first degree. And I'm, you know, to the audience, I'm no gangster, I'm no violent person. I was just defending myself because, like she said, I used to be fresh. And when you know, dress nice, it attracts jealousy and
Yes,
envy.
it does.
So these people, they was jealous, and you know, they're saying they kind of like came at me on a violent tip first. Which,
Right.
you know, we used to go to a popular spot like called Jackson Hole in the city.
Right.
And eat burgers every day.
Shout out to them
And-
burgers
yeah,
at Jackson Hole.
Yeah, so I used to do a lot of my meetings at Jackson Hole. So at this particular day, I had my sister and my brother, and they pulled up, and we was coming out, and they pulled the gun out. So it's like they didn't shoot or nothing, but they pulled off. So something happened a little later on, you know what I'm saying? And one of the guys got shot. They testified on my blue truck. So when I came home, Mary J. Blige, you remind me, was playing all over the radio. You know, and I was inspired by that. And then she put the locks on, which in return, Jadakiss is someone who gave me my first check in the music business. Shout out to Jadakiss. Jadakiss gave me my first check. We didn't make his album, but then I connected with DMX and bought him some tracks. He was on tour, the Anger Management Tour with Fred Durst. And he was in Columbus, Ohio, one of my hometowns, and I flew out, connected with him, I gave him 2 CDs. He later called me and said he had wrote 3 songs. So we did, on the Great Depression, we produced Who We Be and We Right Here, which became the first and the second single on
Shout out to
DMX's
Dustin
album.
Adams.
Yeah, Dustin Adams was on the hook.
Dustin.
Yeah, Dustin Adams was on the hook. And you know, shout out to DMX. I appreciate you because we was nominated for a Grammy and it went on to sell over 1 million copies.
And you are so amazing and so inspirational.
Old school, you know, days and like this music, this mumble music that we have now, and it's like I don't really understand it. I don't really respect some of these artists because they don't respect the people that came before them. And if any other genre, whether it's basketball, the NBA, LeBron is going to respect Allen Iverson or Magic Johnson or Larry Bird, and they're going to, you know what I'm saying, they're going to give them props. They don't respect it. But in the rap game, they don't even know, like, they don't even study, they don't know their history. Like.
No, they don't. They don't have an idea why they can rap right now. They be like, who's Kool Mosey? Who's Melly Mel?
But it's
who's
the consumers. It's the consumers' fault because they pay and they buy into that. Because you know you got somebody like Little Yachty. He said that Big. He don't see what the big deal is with Biggie Smalls. Like you know what I'm saying?
Like how Lil Yachty, like how you
but if
get
it wasn't
here?
for Biggie Smalls,
You wouldn't be here.
You wouldn't be able to go out and get 100,000 or get a deal with Target. You know what I'm saying?
Right. He set this trend and this path for you. And I keep telling hip hop pioneers that I think we should have a hip hop college because in every other genre, you can learn jazz, you can learn classical, you can learn every other thing but hip hop. So I think before we let them be artists, I think you should get some kind of fucking resume or degree in hip hop.
But it's the way that social media is now. It's easy for artists to promote themselves, and if they get a fan base, the radio got to go. Gotta go with the fan base. Even with the radio, like a new artist that's trying to break this up, you gotta pay a certain $2,500, $5,000 and more just to get your record broke. You know what I'm saying? So it's messed up. But I would like to see hip hop come together. We should be able to have
we should be able to hold our own.
But like a hip hop Hall of Fame.
Right.
So we can honor.
I think they do actually have a hip hop Hall of Fame coming out because they wanted to make me a New York representative of the Hip Hop Hall of Fame with the Zulu Nation.
That should be nice. That should be good then, because we should. That way they could see that Run DMC and African Bambaataa and the people who paved the way.
For them to get here, Sylvia Robinson, Sugar Hill. So you know what? My last question to you is, what is your advice to a new artist?
Well, my advice to a new artist is get on that internet, that social media, and you know what I'm saying, go hard. That's what I do. I mean, my label is XFMS.
All over the place. I can't wait to get me some
I'm gonna get you
extended family mini styles. Tell people what that means.
We all extended family, and we all got our different styles. We got many styles. You know, you dress the way this person, you know, everybody different.
He always been a trendsetter, I'll tell you. So tell people where they can find you at, where they can follow you at, how they can get some of that good old production.
Follow me on Instagram, Hip XFMS. Hit me on the DM, I'm gonna hit you right back. You want to order something? I got beats, I got music, I got I got clothes, I got everything. I ain't got no more drugs.
We ain't doing that no more, Phyllis. We ain't doing that no more, Hopper.
Hey, but this is the new hustle.
That's the new hustle. And you know what? I tell a lot of artists that it's the same thing as the drug game. But
I'm paying my employees.
It's the same thing as
they're not getting sweats and sneakers now.
It's the same thing as the drug game. It's just a different product.
It's just a hustle.
So you apply your same skills. If you was a good drug dealer in the street, get you some T-shirts.
But you look at Jay-Z. I don't know. We got to wrap it up. But you look at Jay-Z. He come from a hustle mentality.
He monopolized it.
I admire that dude.
Him and Puff.
And a lot of people,
Puff played Monopoly.
Puff too. But Jay-Z, a lot of people think he's one of the humblest dudes you know what I'm saying, ever meet, man.
You know,
and he put his team on.
It was funny.
He
I
got
saw a
his same
meme.
day one people eating.
I saw a meme of Jay-Z. He was jumping in the pool, straight face. He was riding a horse, straight face, right? So they was laughing at it like, Jay-Z always got straight face. Like, he just living his life, though.
Yeah, nah, but
while y'all sweating him, he living his life.
Yeah, he living his life, but Jay-Z is a humble dude. And you got to respect him. He put his team on.
And I'll take that
one
from
people.
you.
Everybody that was with him in the beginning, whether it's Emery, Tata, Lenny S. over there, Jay Brown, the whole team, you know what I'm saying? He set the blueprint.
Right.
And you look at LeBron and the music and in basketball, sports, got his team. You know what I'm saying? It's the blueprint off of what Jay did with Rock.
And you got to have your team. You got to ride with your team. So, anybody want to give shout outs to? Anything you want to say before we wrap it up?
I just want to let you know also, I'm not in the movies right now. I'm working on a documentary of my life, which is going to be told. I want to get an interview from you, which is like I'm ex-Mary J. Blige, the whole Yonkers. I'm working on the book as well, and hopefully my story will transpire into a movie.
Your story is a movie. Your story been a movie when you got here.
So Jay-Z, I know you just did a big deal with the Weinstein Company, so holla at me.
Shout out to the Weinstein Company. I heard they moving a lot of scripts around here. I got people coming to y'all from the Weinstein Company. They just submitted one of my people's scripts to Paramount. Shout out to the Weinstein Company. We coming. We got some. We got information for you.
I got some major stuff. Holla at your boy. XFMS.
Shout out to Worldwide Entertainment, XFMS, Hip Dog.
And thank you, YouTube, for having me, for giving me this Kodak moment.
Definitely shout out to YouTube Space, New York City.
That's right.